Hello guys, this is Mahima. In this video, I'm going to cover the basics of HTML, text forms in the HTML, and the types of list in the HTML. So let's begin with the basics of HTML. So here is the structure of the HTML. Here, doc type HTML is the declaration. It is not a tag, it is a declaration. It gives the information to browser about the document type to accept in the HTML. Okay, inside the now HTML tag has both opening and closing tag. Okay, next inside the HTML tag, two main tags are there. First one is head tag and the second one is body tag. So uh, head tag and body tag also has opening and closing tags. Now inside the head tag, meta tag, title tag is also there. Now move on the HTML tag. So HTML element, this element wraps all the content on the entire page and it's sometimes known as the root element. So it also includes the language attribute or the setting the primary language of the document. Okay. Next, head tag. This element acts as a container for all the stubs you want to include in HTML page. It isn't contained you showing in your web viewers. Okay. So if you want to add in your web so head tag acts as a container which isn't so shown in the web page. Okay, next tag is title tag. So this sets the title of your web page, which is appear in the title browser tab. Next tab is body tab. Body element contains all your content that you want to show in the web users or they visit your web page, whether it is text, images, what you want to add in your web page, it includes inside the body. So like text, images, videos, games and much more. So let's implement this piece of code in the VS Code. So let me create a new file called first.html. Inside this, so inside this, so in title tag, I write my first page. Inside body tag, include hello world. Okay, let's open in the browser. Let's this piece of code open in the browser, default browser. How it's looking browser. Let's see. So look, so see this whatever we written in the title, it's shown in the browser tab. Okay, like we wrote my first web page and whatever we wrote in the body it will show in the web page. So this is all the basic tags or the basic elements in the HTML. Let's move on the next topic, which is text forms in the HTML. So move on the second topic of the video, which is text forms in the HTML or the basic tags used in the HTML. So H1 to H6. Tags are used to define HTML headings. H1 is the highest session level, whereas X is the lowest. Now look at the sample example. So here we take H1 up to H4. So look, H1 is the highest session, whereas H4 is the lowest in this sample example. Okay. Now move on the second tag, which is p tag. So p tag, or the paragraph element used in HTML, p tag used in HTML defines the paragraphs, or the browsers automatically add a single and blank line before and after of each p element. Okay, let's see the sample example. So here we use p tag. So paragraph tags are block level elements. Okay, now you see in the sample output how it will look as block level elements. Okay, now move on the third. So the third tag is br tag, which is the line break element. So br HTML elements provide a line break in text. Now look at the sample example. So in sample example we use two types of tags, p tag as well as br tag. So if you want to the uh, break the lines, so we will use the break tags. So here in the example we write a poem. So here we want to break the line. So here we along with the p tag we use br tag to split the lines. See, now move on the fourth tag. So our fourth tag is a tag, or the anchor elements. So a tag defines a hyperlink which is used to link from one page to another. So inside the a tag, we also have attribute href attribute, which creates a hyperlink to the web pages, files, email addresses, location in the same page, or anything else a URL can address. Now, now look at the example. Here, p tag is used, ul tag is also used, and anchor tag. Inside the anchor tag we use one attribute, which is href. We given the attribute value as this url link, and inside this we write the text, which is website, which this all includes in anchor tag. Now anchor tag has opening and closing tag. Okay, so how this look like in the web page, like website, like which whatever text is written inside the a tag, it is look in the web page. Now if you want to if you want to include the link in the web page, now you can use the anchor tag. Now you click this text which is written in the anchor tag, you go to the corresponding link, which url you given in the anchor tag. So this is anchor tag. Now guys, our next tag is b tag, which is used to bold our text. Now look at the example. Here we use two tags, p tag as well as b tag. So p tag is used for writing a paragraph, and b tag is used for highlighting or bold some text. Like here in the sample example, we want to bold the chemistry text and physics tag. So we will include inside the b tag, will include these two texts. Like look at the example. Now this piece of code output like this. Okay, now move on the next tag, which is hr tag. This is the thematic break or horizontal rule element. So how what the use of this tag? So hr tag or html elements represent a thematic break between the paragraph level elements. For example, if you want to add some horizontal line between the two paragraphs or between any two text. So if you want to add horizontal rule or line, we'll use HR tag. Look at the example. In this example, we want to include a horizontal line between the two peak paragraphs. Okay, so in between we use HR tag to break these two paragraphs. So our next tag is subtag or the subscript tag. So subtag defines the subscript text. Subscript text appears half in a character below the normal line or sometimes it rendered in a smaller font. So we can use subtext in a chemical formulas. Like for example, say this example. So if you want to write some chemical formula, so we'll use subscript a subscript element tag. Okay, now look, in this paragraph we use like C8. If you want to write some chemical formula like H2O or C6H12 also O6. Now in the sample example it is written as C, then subscript 8. Inside the subscript tag we write as 8. Now similarly 10, 4, 2. Okay, so our next tag is superscript element. So this subtag is defined as superscript text. Superscript tag appears half a character above and a normal line. And it's sometimes written in a small font. Or we can use subscript element in if you want to add a mathematical formula or something footnotes in the web page, so we can use this tag. So in the example, yeah, in the sample example we'll use the superscript tag. Okay, if you want some mathematical formula like a square b square is equals to c square, so we'll use superscript tag. So this is all about the basic text forms used in the HTML. Now we move on the third topic of the video, which is types of lists. So our last topic of this video is types of list in the HTML. So li tag is used for list item element. So li tag HTML element is used to represent an item in a list. So it must contain in a parent element. So there are two types of this list: order list and unordered list. Now look at the example. So here we use the sample example. Paragraph text UL list is used to define the unordered list, and OL is tag is used to define the order list. Now inside the unordered list will include the li list. Like look at the example. So this is the example of list. Now move on the order list and unordered list. So order list element represent an order list of items, typically retained as a numbered list. Like look at the example. Well, list inside the opening and ending of OL list will write the text in the list format. Like it arranged the text in the numbered order as default setting. Okay, like 1 to in the order of numeric order, like 1 to 3. Okay, so this is order list. Unordered list element represent an unordered list of items, typically written as a bullet list. Like UL, inside the UL opening and closing tag will we write the list. Okay, like here is the sample example. The corresponding output it it's written in the bullet points. Now let's go to the VS Code to implement the tags in the HTML and the list in the HTML. Now let's create a new file, tags.html. Now inside the title tag, tags in HTML. Okay, inside body include all the tags, heading, tag, one. Similarly, h2 tag, heading tag 3. So these are all tags, basic tags. Let's open in the browser. So these are all tags which we learned. Look how it's looking the web page. Now this is anchor tag. If you want to like add a link in the web page, so this is the anchor tag. If you click this text, then you directly go the link. So this is the link. Like if you want to include a link in your web page, now you use the anchor tag. You can write the text by clicking this text. You go to this directly link, or by include the, or either you can use the image. By clicking the image, you directly go to the same link, like whatever you link in given in the hyper attribute href attribute URL you given, you directly go to the same link by clicking this text, or either you do like this by providing image. Like let's see in the browser how it's looking. Before we are going through this text, now we are going to this image. By clicking this image, you go to the same link. So either ways you go through by text or by image. Now move on the list. So for list I already made a code. So see, this is order list code and another. Let's see in the browser. So look, this how this list look in the browser. Now so this is all about this video. In this video we learned the basics of HTML, basic text forms in the HTML, and the types of list used in the HTML. Thank you.